Well, welcome back to Miss Lori's Kitchen. Today is Friday. It's cooking from my cookbooks day. Try to do a Friday series with that most Fridays, especially, it can be getting close to the holidays and stuff. It's getting a little bit rougher, but anyways, I'm trying to get it done, and I have got so many cookbooks to go through, y'all. But we're still in our Downton Abbey cookbooks, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing several Fridays of cooking from my cookbooks. It's going to be out of the Downton Abbey cookbooks. I got a big response out of this. It really fills my heart to know that so many people that I have so much in common with. That's one of the things we have in common, is that y'all love shows like that. And a lot of y'all told me how y'all love Downton Abbey, and responded to me with that you even, when I mentioned about Lonesome Dove, my all-time favorite and always will, most of y'all said how much y'all love Lonesome Dove. Now that's a whole different era, but I just love them all. So what I want to do is I want to start with the Downton Abbey tea cookbook, and I wanted to I want to do all these recipes. Now there's some in here that I couldn't do that I wanted to, because there's some ingredients that I don't have in my pantry. That's hard to believe, isn't it? And one of the ingredients is currants. Well, I kept thinking, well, Lori, you got so many dried cranberries, but I want to do it to the recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order me some currants. I think there was maybe a couple other ingredients that I didn't have, that it's not something I guess that I used to cook with, that I think one of the recipes, especially was it figgy pudding? It was some kind of a figgy pudding. Anyways, it's got figs in it, and I don't have figs. And some of y'all requested that you would love for me to do the figgy pudding. So that's something I've got to check into. But this book, this little tea book, just by itself has lots of recipes in it that I'm going to do off and on. And then there's one or two out of the Christmas one, and then out of just the big regular Downton Abbey official cookbook. There is a duck recipe in there. And I asked y'all if y'all would like for me to do, or Mr. Brown, do a duck recipe, because he's a big duck hunter and he's been bringing ducks home. So we're going to have quite a bit of duck in the freezer, and I'm excited about that, because he really knows how to cook them duck breasts up. Now we only usually just, he fillets the breast out, is what he does, and that's what we eat. He done one recipe, it's been a long time ago, where he cooked up some duck breast in an iron skillet, I believe it was, on top of this stove right here. He didn't do it out on the grill, but he cooked it just like you would a ribeye steak in an iron skillet. It was one of the most delicious meats I've ever ate. It was that good. I even messaged my youngest daughter, who is an avid hunter, and told her how good this duck breast was, because it was delicious. Usually when we do duck breast, we slice it up in thin slices, and we fry it up like you would deer meat, just strips of deer meat. That's usually how we do it, and it's so good. Anyways, my buzzer went off, and I need to get them little cookies out, and I'll be just right back. Okay, I'm going to read from y'all, or to y'all, from the tea cookbook, Downton Abbey cookbook. Prince of Wales biscuits, and that's what we're going to be doing today, which is what we know as butter cookies. It says the original version of this confection, popular in the Regency period of the early 1800s, was a sturdy, unsweetened biscuit, aka cookie, stamped with the traditional feather emblem of the prince. Made by commercial bakers, it was served after dinner for dunking into sweet wine. This newer, softer version is lightly sweetened and makes a delicious addition to any tea time plate. The prince would give you permission to forego his feathers and use any decorative stamp you like. Okay, here's our dough after I got it mixed up. Now I want you to be careful with this dough because I did not use all that 2 and 1/3 cups of flour. In fact, I think I've got about a half a cup of flour left. So once I got it mixed up, I just started using my hands and it all come together. Before we start making our biscuits, which is what they call them, we call them a cookie or a shortbread cookie here, a butter cookie, I mean. And I ordered this last year, and it was funny because I didn't get to use it for Christmas because it didn't come in till after Christmas. So this is something I guess that you've got to order quite a bit, you know, of weeks ahead of time. Probably if you were going to order one, you should have ordered it back in probably November or something, but I still want to share it with you, and maybe you can use it for next year, and you might get it before Christmas. But this is a cookie stamp. You can order this off Amazon, and I will put that link down in my description box. And it's just a stamp that you will press down on top of your cookies, and mine says Merry Christmas from the Brown family, and it's just kind of decorated on top. It's kind of hard to read, but very, very pretty. I was very proud of it. Now when I looked on Amazon, I think they're selling these for like $9. I think I give more than that for this one, but at this time right now, and the link that I'll be sharing, they're $8.99, and I think there's even 10 or 20% off of that. So I don't know, but this will be the first time we use it, y'all. And it does. It comes in this pretty box, and of course it comes with the cutter too. So if you roll your cookies, the dough out, this will be what you would cut it out with and then stamp it. But the recipe here, and I'm going to do it by the recipe, wants you to make little cookie balls about the size of a golf ball, which is probably about what, 1.5 inches in around. I'm not good at that, so anyways, I just eyeball it. And they do want you to kind of press one side of it. Of course, we got our parchment paper here. I've got my oven set at 350. Well, actually it's between 325 and 350 because my oven gets pretty hot. Y'all have heard me say that. Don't flour both sides, just the one side. And put your cookie ball down. Now I don't know, this will be my first time. I may have to do this several times for it to work right. We'll see. And I'm sticking my cutter in here just to kind of flour it. And I'm going to press down. And you're not going to have the beautiful, you know, little scalloped edges when you do it this way. But you can see theirs aren't scalloped either. But if you roll it out and use this side of the cookie cutter, it will be scalloped. So I'm going to press this down one more time, then I'm going to lift it up. Maybe. Even after all that flour, it may be stuck. Not too bad. I'm going to have to bring you down where y'all can see this. You may have to get a little brush. I'm going to get a little brush. And like I said, your edges are not going to be perfect. Okay, for the first time I'm using this stamp, they're not the prettiest. But the more I've done it, you see this was the first one. And if you kind of rub the flour off of it, you can't see where it says Merry Christmas very good on the first one. This one I done better. And you Mr. Brown was here where he could press down for me really hard to be better. But this is just how the cookie stamp. Oh, I forgot my word there. Stamp, how it works. And like I said, you can roll your dough out and then cut your cookie out and have beautiful sides, and then press it with your stamp. Now, you can also roll these out and cut different patterns out. Okay, so we're going to roll the rest of the dough out. And I don't want to cut out anything like Santa Claus or gingerbread man, not for these cookies. So I've got this scalloped, this is an antique cookie cutter that I got at an antique store years ago. So you can just cut some of those out, just like that, and place them on here. Just like that. Now, we're going to do just like I showed you with this part. And take it over here, this corner, and you can press it down. So what that does is it's going to make this a perfect size for your stamp. Now, I don't know if I just can't press down on it hard enough or what, but I can't make it as nice as I want to. We'll try. Well, it's kind of on there. We'll cook it up and see what it looks like, and I'll try another one. Like I said, this is the first time I've used this stamp, so see, that made a good size cookie. I'm going to use this one to come in here and cut another one. So I'm going to get the rest of these cut up and then we'll come back. Now you can also take this and press it. Put some parchment paper in the bottom of a round 9x9 cake pan. Parchment paper so that it don't stick, and so you can lift it out of there. And you can press this dough down into that 9x9 cake pan, round cake pan. Bake it just like you would your other cookies till it's just a little golden brown on top. Bring it out. Kind of score it before you bake it into triangles. Then bring it out and then go ahead and cut it like you're cutting pie pieces. And that's how they do shortbread cookies and stuff like that. So there's different ways you can present these cookies. Okay, this is a very old antique shortbread cookie cutter. And you can tell because it's got the little spikes here that puts the holes down into your dough too. So I want to use this too. This thing, I don't know how it is, but it is very, very old. I got this at an antique store in Hardy. And I'm just that kind of person. When I go in there, I look and look and look and I dig, and there's always that one thing that's going to catch your eye. And I think I give $3 for this, and it was well worth it to me, not just for the cookie cutter, but the nostalgia of it. Come on, little cookie. I think I had too much flour on that one, but it did put little holes in it. I'm going to go ahead and stick that on there and get that out of there. I think my cookie dough is getting a little bit warm. I don't need to do that for sure. There we go. You see how it put the little holes in there? What that's going to do is it's going to put, that's going to bring air through the cookie, and it's going to make it a really crisp little cookie. In fact, I probably need to put these on a different tiny cookie sheet because they will cook quicker than these others. Okay, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I've never seen anybody use one of these cookie cutters, and some of y'all have used them or yelling at me, I'm sure, Miss Lori, the top comes off, and I just figured that out. So, cut them out. Take the top off. Take your finger and gently. Cookie still broke. So I'm not real sure about this. Miss Lori don't give up though. Cut it. Whoops. Wonder if Miss Passmore had this much trouble. Probably not. Oh, my. Well, I love the look of the cookie cutter anyways, and it's old. Okay, there it is. I managed to get that out. And whoever done this for a living and made a bunch of them, bless your heart. I'm going to take it and I'm going to go ahead and aerate it with this little puncher. I think that's what is causing this cookie dough to kind of fall apart too. So there you go. I finally figured it out. I wouldn't want to do a bunch of them though. But anyways, I just want to do some different shapes, and I've got some more dough, the scraps, that I'm going to roll out and finish making our cookies. Some of the stamp cookies turned out okay, but I don't know. I think once they bake up, you're just not going to be able to see them. So, I don't know. Maybe I just can't push down hard enough with my hands. I'm not sure. But, the ones that I cut out with the bottom part too, to give it scalloped edges, and I pushed down just as hard as I could, the Christmas part just didn't come out. If Mr. Brown was here, like I said, he could probably make it work. He could press down on it hard enough to make it work. Okay, I got my oven preheated, so we're going to get our cookies in there. I don't know if I've done this recipe any justice, but I make better cookies all the time. This is a very delicate small batch of these are, like I said, called the Prince of Wales Biscuits. So the dough is a little delicate, but it's going to be good and buttery. So it's my first time of using the stamp. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm going to see what they look like when they come out of the oven. But just use different cookie cutters is what I say, or roll it out and put it in a 9x9 round cake pan and cut it in wedges is what I say. But we're going to get these in the oven. And here's the little bitty ones out of that very old antique shortbread cookie cutter. Once I finally figured out how to use the thing, but it's still a very delicate procedure to get it out of there. So if y'all know an easier way to use that thing, let me know. But we're going to get our cookies in here. See how we're even going to probably let me turn my timer on for about 8 minutes, because I like to do that because of my oven. it gets very hot, and it's on convection oven, and I'll check it and see where it's at. And then we'll put these in there because it won't take these as long to cook. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make me a little cup of tea. So what is your favorite hot cup of tea? Do you like the Grey Earl, or do you like a herbal tea? My favorite, I grow a lot of peppermint, different kinds of mint in my garden. I have got so much mint put up for tea that I could have tea from now to eternity, I tell you. But I like to mix a little bit of my just regular mint, garden mint, with my black tea, and that's my favorite. So let's make us a cup of tea to go with our cookies, or what they call Prince of Wales biscuits. Our Prince of Wales tea biscuits are done, and they taste delicious, just like butter cookies. I've got me a little bit of hot black tea to dunk my cookies in, with maybe just a little bit of sweet cream. I hope y'all enjoyed this recipe. I hope you enjoyed the video. And there will be more cooking from my cookbooks and more from my Downton Abbey cookbooks. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. We love y'all. Most of all, God loves you. God bless everybody.